The call came while I was still at my desk. Her voice sliced through the walls like a poisoned blade cloaked in concern. "Son, your idiot wife changed the pin on her card. Now I can't even buy a wardrobe for the house." I froze, phone pressing my ear, though it wasn't mine ringing. I heard it through thin plaster, her voice cutting the silence like jagged glass. 30 minutes later, the office door slammed open. My husband stormed in, eyes wild, fists already tightening before words formed. He didn't ask, he didn't pause. He struck me across the face and spat the demand. The code. Tell me the new pin. The room tilted. Coworkers stared, silent. His mother's venom had traveled faster than thought, faster than reason. I tasted blood, but the deeper wound wasn't in my mouth. It was the certainty that he hadn't questioned her at all. I stood still, letting the sting bloom across my cheek. My silence wasn't surrender, it was strategy. In that moment, I realized what I'd ignored for too long. Loyalty in this house had never been mine, and loyalty, once broken, becomes the sharpest weapon of all. I replayed the scene endlessly, not the slap, not the yelling, but the blind obedience. His mother snapped, and he obeyed. No hesitation, no doubt. I remember the late nights he vanished without explanation, the mysterious expenses, the sudden anger when I asked about his phone. I had mistaken it for stress, weakness, the residue of a spoiled childhood under her thumb. Now I saw it for what it was, training, conditioning. I, his wife, confidant, supposed partner, was nothing but a pawn in a game I had never been invited to play. My chest tightened, but my face remained calm. At work, at home, even in bed, I smiled, I spoke gently. I acted as if nothing inside me had cracked. But when he slept, I scrolled through his phone in the dark. When he showered, I checked drawers. When he left for meetings, I followed, quiet, patient, invisible. The trail was faint at first. Unfamiliar receipts, messages erased but recoverable, a scent of perfume on his shirts too floral to be mine. Each clue seemed harmless alone, but together they formed a lattice of betrayal. And her voice haunted it all. His mother, instigator, witness, accomplice. The truth was there. I only needed to cut deep enough to bleed it out. I became meticulous. Every movement calculated. Every word measured. I found the hotel first. A cheap one tucked away on a back street near the river. He used a false name, but his handwriting gave him away in the guest book. Then the woman, not young, not old, just exhausted, desperate. A clerk at a shop near his office. Face gray, laugh brittle. She didn't know I existed. Or perhaps she didn't care. I didn't confront her. I didn't rage. I watched. Weeks passed. I gathered everything. Hotel bills, messages recovered from the cloud, photographs, him entering her apartment, her kissing his neck in public, his hands on her waist like they'd never been on mine. At night, lying beside him, I listened to his breathing. Soap and lies. My heart didn't race. My hands didn't shake. I was cold now, detached. That calm terrified me more than his fists ever had, because I realized I wasn't preparing for a fight. I was preparing for the end. The DNA test came last, not for him, for our daughter. The report arrived in a plain envelope. I opened it slowly, letting each word sink into my bones. Not his child. I sat staring at the page until the lines blurred. Pulse steady, breath steady, silence absolute. That night, I placed the envelope on his pillow, said nothing, waited. He walked in, loosened his tie, saw it, opened it, read. His face went pale. "Whose?" he stammered. I didn't answer. I didn't need to. His mother called from the kitchen, her voice cutting the silence. "What is it, son?" He didn't reply. His hands shook. I just watched the fortress of lies collapse around them. I didn't scream. I didn't accuse. I slid a folder across the table. Every receipt, every message, every photograph. His secret life lay bare, mapped with surgical precision. He opened it with trembling fingers. Each page another nail in his coffin. "You thought I was blind," I said finally, low and steady. "But I see everything." He tried to speak, but the words choked themselves in his throat. And there it was, the collapse of a man who believed control was his birthright. The unraveling of a boy who would worship his mother's voice more than his wife's silence. I left the folder and turned away. The house was quiet when I walked out. No bags, no goodbyes. The night air was sharp, clean. My cheeks still ached from the slap days before, but the pain had dulled. I thought my daughter, not his, and realized the truth wasn't a weapon against me. It was freedom. They would tear each other apart. Him and his mother. Blame would spread like fire in dry grass. I wouldn't need to strike. They would burn themselves. As for me, I felt nothing, no grief, no regret, only clarity. And clarity is colder than revenge. I didn't need to destroy them. The truth already had.